Good morning, students. Welcome to the biology class, and I hope all are doing well and all are going through the chapters that we have discussed here. And we are discussing the 10th chapter, that is microbes in human welfare, and the first part is over. I think all have gone through that topic, and all the doubts have been cleared for you. Now, the next part of this is the microbes in the sewage treatment plant. Okay, if any doubts you can ask me in the later classes. Okay, everyone stay home, stay safe, so that we can have a good future. Okay, so let's come to the topic, that is microbes in the sewage treatment plant. First of all, let me tell you, what do you mean by the word sewage? I think this word is very clear. Yeah, this word is a very day-to-day life we are using this word sewage. So what do you mean by the sewage? Yeah, what are the different things that is coming in the sewage? We know that there are lots of water has been used for our day-to-day activities, and this water has to be disposed. Okay, and this is coming under the heading the sewage. Like we are using water for cooking, washing, bathing, cleaning, everywhere we need the water. So after doing all these activities, after doing all these work, the wastewater that is generated from it, that is literally called as the sewage. And even the human excreta, okay, the human excreta, that is a main component that is coming under the sewage. So our main issue, especially the country like India, the main issue facing us is how to dispose the sewage. Okay, because every word, every day, millions and millions of tons have been sewage have been created, and our global, yeah, our Indian issue is that how to dispose this kind of sewages. So that we are going to discuss in this one, like microbes in the sewage treatment plant. So the human excreta, we know that we can't stop having this kind of sewages. So the human excreta, they form the major component of the sewage. So let's see how we can treat the sewage, what all things we can do to do with the sewage so that we can reduce the pollution. Okay, so the municipal waste that normally has been generated, that is called as the sewage, and that contains all kinds of wastes, especially the human excreta. And this contains this waste, the sewage waste, they contains lots of microorganisms, many of which are pathogenic, and it also contains a large amount of the organic matter. So if you are not treating this sewage and directly pumping into the any of the river bodies. Can you see here? There is a picture given here that is showing that the water is directly pumping into the, this is a sewage water, it has not been treated. This water is directly pumping into the river, yeah, any of the water bodies. So can you imagine what are the consequences that can be there? Can you see? This water, it's highly contaminated water and it is directly pumping into the water bodies. So what we have to do, we have to treat this water before pumping into any, before dumping into any of the water bodies. That we are doing with the help of the different sewage treatment plant, STP. STP stands for sewage treatment plant. So if you are treating the water before getting into any of the river bodies, then your water bodies will be less polluted. And that is one of the major thing that we have to do, because we have seen while studying the geography and all, we have seen the government has started with a Ganga action plan, Yamuna action plan, so that the pollution can be reduced. And what we are doing, we are creating wastes, urban wastes have been created in more quantity, and we are dumping directly into the rivers without treating it. Then the rivers are getting polluted. So to stop this, we have to treat the rivers, and you have to make lots of sewage treatment plant, so that the water, the sewage water that has been created due to our day-to-day activities, has to pass into the sewage treatment plant. After that only it should dump into the river bodies. Okay, so that is an introductory part, that what are the different sewages that has been created everyday life. Okay, now see, this is the actual step that we are going to do in the sewage treatment plant. So can you see here, it has been divided mainly into two steps. One is called as the primary treatment or physical treatment, and the other one is called as the secondary treatment or the biological treatment. I think the word itself is clear. Physical treatment matlab we are doing it mechanically. Okay, and the secondary treatment, that is also called as a biological treatment because we are using the biological agents here like microorganism. Okay, that is why this heading has come in this chapter. So we are using some aerobic microorganism, yeah, anaerobic microorganism to treat, to digest the sewage and to consume the organic matter present in the sewage. After that, we are dumping into the rivers. Okay, so we have to see this is the primary treatment. So we can see here the two headings have been given. One is the primary treatment and another one is the secondary treatment. So what is happening in the primary treatment? In the primary treatment, the particles have been filtered. Okay, the filtered and it has been sedimented. So these are the two steps that is taking place in the primary one, that is filtration and the sedimentation. And what about the secondary treatment? We will go in detail. What about the secondary treatment? They are using the microorganism. Like aeration tanks are there and non-aerating tanks are there. In aeration tanks, we use the aerobic microorganism, and in the non-aeration tanks, we use the anaerobic microorganism. So this is an overall view of how we are doing the sewage treatment. So we have to go in two steps. The first step is the primary treatment, or you will call it as a physical treatment, and the second one, that is a secondary treatment, or you will call it as a biological treatment. Okay, clear? Now let's see one by one what is coming under the. So the first one is a primary treatment that we already told. It is a mechanical separation. Okay, so the two steps are, first one, we will filter it. We will filter that solution. We will filter that waste. Yes, the sewage that is coming from the industries, factories, yeah, household equipments. First, we will filter it. After that, we will sediment it. Okay, and in filtration also, we know that there are different particles that is present in the water. Some of them like debris are there, some soil particles are there, sand is there, pebbles are there. So all these has to be filtered. And after filtration, you will allow it to settle down. That process is called as a sedimentation. So in sedimentation, what's happening? The heavier particles will come down, or the denser particles will come down, and the lighter particles will come up. Okay, so first we are filtering it. So during filtration, the debris and the light particles can be removed, and after that we are sedimenting it, and by sedimentation the lighter particles will come up and the heavy particles will settle down. Okay, now this heavy particles that has been settled down, that you will call it as a primary sludge. Clear? So the heavier particle, that means the base of that sedimentation unit, that we call it as a primary sludge. And the supernatant, what is supernatant? Whatever that has been formed above. Okay, so this is the this is a beaker. This is a beaker. So whatever has been formed above, that is called as a supernatant, and whatever has been formed down, that is that has been settled down, that is called as the primary sludge. So primary sludge has been removed, and we are taking, if it is a glass of water, what we can do, we can decant that water. So while decanting, that heavier particles will be in the lower side, and only the lighter water that will can be poured into the another container. Okay, the same thing, we are using a big containers. So the sedimentation has been done and we are getting the effluent, and this effluent that is taking for the secondary treatment plant. So what is an effluent? That is a supernatant. Okay, supernatant means the above surface. So that supernatant effluent, we are going to take it for the secondary treatment, and the primary sludge, we will take it out and we will remove from the. Clear? So this is about the primary treatment. So in primary treatment, there are two stages. One is called as a filtration and other one is called as a sedimentation. And the primary sludge has been formed and then effluent has been formed. The effluent is taken to the further action, that is to the secondary treatment plant. So now comes the secondary treatment. What is the other name of secondary treatment? It is also called as a biological treatment. Okay, the secondary treatment is also called as biological treatment, and I told you biological means that has been involving the microorganism, like some of the aerobic microbes are there and some of the anaerobic microbes are there. So let's see the step by step what's happening in the biological treatment. So the first step is the primary effluent that has been collected from the which one? Primary treatment, that is being taken into the secondary treatment, and they have been put into large aeration tank. So what is the meaning of aeration tank? Where we are pumping air and we are agitating it continuously. Okay, agitating matlab you are turning it, yeah, you are continuously stirring it, so that that will allow the vigorous growth of the microorganism. And this is aeration tank. So automatically what we have to think, the type of bacteria, the type of the microorganism present there are the aerobic microbes. So they can survive when oxygen is present there. So that's why aeration tank. So we are agitating, just see the points, agitating mechanically, and air is pumped into it. And that helps the growth of aerobic microbes into the flocks. Okay, that helps in the growth of aerobic microbes into flock. Now, actually, what is a flock? The flock is a combination of the bacteria along with the fungal hyphae. Okay, the flock contains the bacteria. Along with the bacteria, there are the fungi. And what is that fungi used for? The fungi as having the hyphae-like structure. And they are the filament that is made up of hyphae. So this hyphae and this bacteria actually form like this, like a mesh-like structure. Can you see here? My hands, you can see they form the mesh-like structure. Okay, highly entangled mesh-like structure. So if you pour water, yeah, if you add this water into this one, these are all whatever representing my hands, they are all the microorganism. What they do? They will digest the organic matter that is present in that sewage water, in the effluent water. Understand? So this the mesh. Yeah, you can see this is the flock. So what is a flock? The flock contains the bacteria as well as the hypha. Hypha means the fungal hyphae. Okay, so they act as a mesh and they filter. Filter in the sense they start digesting the organic matter that is present in the effluent. Clear? So once the organic matter started reducing, yeah, started getting digested, then the BOD. This is clear for you because we discussed it earlier. BOD means biochemical oxygen demand. Okay, and this BOD will be high if a water is highly polluted. So you can connect the BOD with the pollution. If the BOD is low, that means the pollution level of the water is also very low. So BOD is a measurement of the polluting water. So BOD is high means the water is highly polluted, and if the BOD is low means the water is less polluted. So BOD become reduced after the consumption of the organic matter that is present in the effluent. The BOD gets reduced, and if the BOD is reduced, that means your water is less polluting. So like that you can keep on adding the flocks, and we can digest the organic content, and if the organic content has been digested, then the BOD of the water gets reduced. And if the BOD of the water gets reduced, that is an indication that your water is less polluting. And if the BOD is high, that means the water is more polluting. So BOD is a measurement. So we can check the BOD of the any water, and we can say that whether the water is highly polluted or whether the water is less polluted. So BOD can be taken as a measurement to calculate the pollution level of that water. Okay. So now the organic content has been almost digested, and what will happen? It has to pass into another tank. So we can see here the sewage water is treated up to the time the BOD is reduced. Now, the greater the BOD of the wastewater, the more polluting potential. After that, this effluent is passed into settling tank. So the one work is over, that aeration work is over. The bacteria, the flocks that started digesting the organic matter, now the organic matter reduced, the BOD got reduced. Now what we have to do? We have to put them into another tank, another settling tank, where the bacteria flocks get sedimented. Sediment matlab they have been settled down, and that is called as the activated sludge. Okay, so we are going to filter it again, and we are going to separate the bacteria flocks from the, okay, bacteria flocks in the sense we are going to settle them so that whatever gets down, that is called as the activated sludge. And the small portion of this activated sludge will be taken up, and it will be put again into the aeration tank. Where is the aeration tank? In the beginning. You can see here, this is the aeration tank. So a small portion of this flocks will be taken from here, from this activated sludge and we will transfer into the aeration tank. Can you anyone tell me why we are doing like that? When we learn the conversion of curd into milk, what we have done, we have taken a small portion of the curd and it acts as an inoculum. And this inoculum will convert the rest of the milk into the curd because that inoculum contains enough bacteria. In the case of the curd, it was lactobacillus, but in this case, why we are taking the activated sludge? Because this activated sludge contains the phlox. And we know phlox is a combination. Yeah, phlox is a overall growth of a bacteria and the fungal hyphae. So it again acts as an inoculum. So that means that we no need to prepare the inoculum. Yeah, no need to prepare the phlox each and every time. It is a continuous process. Once we are going to take the activated sludge, a portion of the activated sludge will be added into the aeration tank. Okay, like it gets circulated like this. So a portion of the activated sludge will be going back into the aeration tank, so that we can't prepare it after every time, so we can use this phlox as an inoculum. Clear? So now this is going into the activated sludge. One portion of the activated sludge we are using for the aeration tank, and the other one we are going to have the another kind of digestion by using the anaerobic microbes. Okay. So the remaining part of the sludge, so one part we told we have been taken into the aeration tank, and now whatever sludge has been left out, that will be taken into the anaerobic sludge reactors. Clear? So what is this anaerobic sludge reactors? You can see here, I've seen some of the pictures, anaerobic sludge digesters. So this anaerobic sludge digesters, they have been digested by some of the anaerobic bacteria. That's why the term has been given anaerobic. And what is left out there? There are bacteria, aerobic bacteria and aerobic microbes and other the fungi. So these have been digested by this anaerobic bacteria. Okay, and during this time of digestion, this bacteria, they produce a combination of the gases that contain methane, hydrogen sulfide and the carbon dioxide. And you know what is this combination? This is a combination that normally we use for the biogas. So see, in one time we are doing two things, which are the two parts. One side, we are digesting the organic materials present in the sewage water, and in the other part, what we are doing, it's help in the production of the methane gas. And methane, we know, we can use it as a major constituent of our biogas. Okay, so if we are doing this treatment, in the other side, we are getting the profit, we are getting benefited by the production of the biogas. Clear? So again, we can see the the sludge, activated sludge will be passed into anaerobic sludge digesters. Anaerobic sludge digesters were these has been digested by the anaerobic bacteria. Now, during the time of digestion, what's happening? They are producing methane, then hydrogen sulfide and the carbon dioxide. And these gases can be used as the biogas. And they are the source of the energy and it is the inflammable. Clear? Now, what is left out? So, the liquid part is still left out there. Now, the liquid part is clear of all the organic content. Now, this effluent that has been taken from after the secondary treatment, they can be released into the natural bodies like rivers and the streams. I think the whole part is clear. Once again, I will tell you primary treatment that is over, that is filtration and sedimentation. And in the secondary treatment, we are treating first in the aeration tank where there is a combination of bacteria and the fungi. And they act mesh-like structure, and this mesh-like structure can digest the organic content present in that effluent. Okay. Now, after this, when the digestion is over, now we don't need the aerobic bacteria and this phlox. Some part of this phlox will be recycled back into the aeration tank and it acts as an inoculum. And the second part, that is the activated sludge, that will be fed into another anaerobic digesting tank where all these have been digested with the help of another group of the bacteria. And during the time of digestion, they produce a methane, hydrogen sulfide and the carbon dioxide. And what is this? This is actually the energy source and that can be used as the biogas. Okay. This is a picture of the primary treatment and the secondary treatment. So we can see here this is the primary treatment and this is a secondary. So in primary treatment, some bar screens, grid chamber, settling tank that has been created, and in the settling tank we can see the above one that is called as the effluent, and that this is the or the supernatant, this is the sludge. Now this has been transferred into the aeration tank, and in the aeration tank the organic content will get digested, and here you can see that is coming into the another tank, that is the settling tank, where activated sludge, little bit activated sludge will be pumped back into the aeration tank, and the other activated sludge will be what we can do, we will use some of the microorganism to digest this kind of bacteria and the fungi, and we will get the water effluent. Again we are collecting the effluent, and that we can add some of the chlorine as a disinfection, and finally it has been dumped into the river, lake and the ocean. And here the activated sludge that has been come here, that contains the methane gas, then carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide that act as the biogas. I think the topic is clear for you. So the primary treatment, secondary treatment. Normally this question used to come for your exams, like for 3-mark question, sometimes for even for the 5-mark question. So with the diagram you have to make. So this is a picture that we can see the day-to-day activities of the people are taking place. This is one of the picture of the Banaras, that is Ganga. We can see the people are doing some of the rituals, some of the ceremonies here, and all the waste has been dumped here. And in another side, the people are washing their clothes, they are washing their animals, and taking bath, everything we can see here. And our government has made the Ganga Action Plan. Okay, and what is this plan actually? This Ganga Action Plan, the government is trying to put more number of the sewage treatment plant, so that the amount of the water that can be flown into the sewage treatment plant can be more effective. Okay, but our work is that don't dump this wastes directly into the water. Yeah, just don't throw it off. Okay, we have the habit of, Indians have the habit of throwing the things in the road, yeah, something in the water, whatever feel like throwing, we just throw it away. And what's happening? That is causing the pollution, and that polluted water we are drinking. So the major issue that is facing us is the disposal of the sewage water, and the government has taken an important step to that. That is a Ganga Action Plan, Yamuna Action Plan, and they are trying to set up more number of sewage treatment plants. Okay. So our work is not to pollute the rivers. Try to protect your river so that have a healthy life. Clear? Now the next topic we are going to discuss is the microbes in the biogas production. So one part we already discussed, what is a biogas and all. So this is a picture, the picture I have been shown here. This is a picture of a biogas plant, and the gas has been released inside this. All the waste material we are dumping into this one, and this is a concrete chamber and 10 to 15 feet high, and all these things have been dumped into this, especially the cow dung. Okay, because the cow dung contains this bacteria. Which bacteria? Methanogen bacteria, and this bacteria are mainly responsible for the production of the methane gas. Okay, let's see. So biogas we have seen, this is the methane bacteria. So these bacteria are called as the methanogens, and this is the biogas. This is actually the biogas that has been produced by the methanogens. Okay, now what are the components? They produce the methane, and along with the methane there is carbon dioxide and the hydrogen sulfide, yeah, hydrogen. Okay, and these have been done with the help of a group of bacteria, that is normally we call it as methanogens or the methanobacteria, and this is one of an important fuel, especially in the rural areas. So let's see, this bacteria is also present. This is, I have shown here the cattle, and there is a part in the intestine of the cattle that is called as the rumen. So this rumen contains this bacteria in a large amount. And what is this bacteria doing? This bacteria is helping in the digestion of the cellulosic content, because we know that the cattle eat mainly the grasses. And what is the cell wall of that cell, plant cell is made up of? We know, we have studied in the smaller classes, the cell wall is made up of cellulose, and this animal, this cattle eat mainly the grasses which contain a whole amount, a huge amount of the cellulose. For digestion of the cellulose they need some bacteria, and that bacteria is the methanogen, and that is present in the rumen. Okay, so rumen of the cattle, they contain the this bacteria, that is the methanogen bacteria. Okay, so that's why we are collecting the cow dung, because this cow dung, they contain a whole lot of this bacteria, methanogen bacteria. So we are collecting the cow dung, and along with the cow dung, the day-to-day waste material like vegetable waste, yeah, any peels, any vegetable peels, fruit peels, everything we can put into this concrete container. Along with that, we add the cow dung. So cow dung here acts as an inoculum again, because they contain the bacteria called the methanogen. And this methanogen bacteria can digest the cellulosic content, and along the digestion time they releases the methane gas, carbon dioxide and the hydrogen. That is acting as the biogas, or you can call it as a gobar gas. So this is the main fuel, especially in the rural areas. In cities like Delhi, we can't use it because we don't have place to construct a biogas chamber, because it needs place, and we have to collect the cow dung and we have to regularly clean it. Okay, so this bacteria, that is a methanogen bacteria, that is present in the rumen of the cattle. And why it is in the rumen of the cattle? Because they help in the breakdown of the cellulose. And we know that cellulose is a main ingredient of the cattle feed. Cattle feed, the excreta of the cattle, normally we call it as a cow dung, that is added into this chamber, and that contains this bacteria. This is a biogas plant. I will show the picture later. So this biogas plant, it is a concrete tank. It's almost 10 to 15 feet deep, and all the bio wastes collected will be fed into that along with the cow dung. Okay, and they are having one outlet. There will be one which is connected to a pipe, so that this pipe, the gases that has been liberated from the, that can be taken through the pipe to the houses. Okay, and the waste material that has been coming from the, that is the slurry, yeah, used waste that can be used as a manure and the fertilizer. So you can make it as an integrated management here. Like if you have a cattle farm, along with the cattle farm you should have this biogas plant, because the cow dung that has been collected from the, that can be added as a raw material for the biogas plant, and we can get the biogas. So it's an integrated project. If you have a cattle feed, surely you should start the biogas plant. Okay, and this biogas can be used for the cooking and the lighting purposes. And the Indian Agriculture Research Institute, that is IARI, and this Khadi Village Commission, they are all helping us to construct this biogas production. So let's see the picture of a biogas. This is a biogas plant, we can see here. So the dung water that we are getting collecting daily, that is going into this container. This is nearly 10 to 15 feet in length, and it has been covered. Okay, it has been covered with a lid. Okay, now what is happening here? When this bacteria start releasing the methane gas, because of the pressure of this gas, the lid will come up. And when the lid will come up, by this pipe, by this pipeline, we can get the gases released from it, and it can be connected to the houses. And in between, we can see the sludge are coming here, and this sludge can be removed time to time, and this sludge can be used as a manure and the fertilizer. Okay, and here you can see the because of the effect of bacteria, the methane is produced, carbon dioxide is produced, and the hydrogen gas has been produced. And this has been utilized as the methane gas. And that gas has been collected, and this gas can be through pipelines, it can be connected through the houses, yeah, factories, yeah, any small scale industries, it can be used. So this is one of the main energy source for the rural areas where the LPG or any other things have been available, and this is one of the cost effective method also, because in villages we are having the cattle farming, yeah, even in one house we are having 2 3 cattle, so we can utilize the cow dung and the daily waste that has been generated. But listen, it's only the biodegradable waste. You can't put the plastics and everything into that, then it cannot be digested. So with the help of the methane, methanogen bacteria that has been produced in the cattle rumen, the cattle dung, yeah, cow dung, that has been added into this as an inoculum, and it start producing the methane gas. And timely we can collect the methane gas and connect into the any of your houses. And slurry, yeah, the sludge that has been collected from the, that has to be removed, and it has been used as the manures and the fertilizer. Clear? So structure, you have to learn this diagram also. The structure of the biogas plant you have to learn. One is your dung water resource, other is your chamber, then the sludge, then the carbon dioxide and the methane emitters. Okay, I think the topic is clear. how the so this too has been integrated like sewage treatment and the biogas, and even the biogas plant can be integrated with a cattle farming culture. This is the overall look of a biogas cycle. We can see here solar energy. Well, it's having showing it in the form of a cycle. Like solar energy is here, then photosynthesis, then plants have been produced, and all the waste material. Okay, all the waste material that has been produced input into this one. This is the tank, and after that what's happening, the biogas that has been produced, that has been connected to the different houses, yeah, to work any of the small scale industry, and what is left out, that is used as a biofertilizer. Okay, here you can see this biofertilizer. So this one is connected and this has been used as a biofertilizers for the crops. So this is an overall cycle of a biogas. Clear? So I think the topic is clear for you. Production, another one is the treatment, that is how to dispose the sewage properly. If you are not disposing the sewage properly, it can cause the pollution, especially the water pollution, and the water is becoming poisonous. We can see the rivers that we can see in Delhi, especially the Yamuna river. There are no living things there, like there are no fishes, there are no aquatic organism. Why? Because the BOD is very high. BOD is very high means the pollution level is very high, the organic matter is very high. So it's our duty not to pollute any of the river, not to pollute any of the areas, and keep it safe and keep it ready for our future. And the government is helping us hand to hand. That is, they have made the Ganga action plan and the Yamuna action plan, so that we can have construction of more number of sewage treatment plants, and we can focus mainly on the pollution. Okay, so save India, have a safe life. Thank you.